23,750 naira. And 500 bottles of hand sanitizers cost 2,423,750 naira. There are indications that foreign exchange speculators may lose over 100 billion naira in the next 1 month as the Central Bank of Nigeria sustains massive funding for Bureau de Change operators. President, Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, Alhaji Aminu Gwadabe, said the CBN is committed to improving funding for over 5,000 BDCs nationwide in a new move to deepen market liquidity and protect the naira against speculators. He called for return of normalcy to the market as the ongoing speculative behavior hampering the market operations and stability will come at huge loss to speculators. The APCON boss linked the continued fall of the naira at the parallel market and investors and exporters forex window to currency speculators hoarding dollars to profit from the currency crisis. He said the perpetrators are creating artificial scarcity of the greenback within the market to cause more woes for the local currency. Data from unaudited financial statements of commercial banks show that combined loan portfolio of the 12 commercial banks in Nigeria rose by 690 billion naira in the first 3 months of this year. The loans and advances to their customers grew to 17.75 trillion naira as of March 31, 2021 from 17.06 trillion naira at the end of December last year. Loans and advances to customers, which account for the major proportion of the bank total assets, rose in 11 of the lenders. Nigerian banks' loan books have grown in recent years on the back of the Central Bank of Nigeria's push for more lending. The CBN had in July 2019 mandated all deposit money banks to maintain a minimum loan-to-deposit ratio of 60% by September 30, 2019 in a bid to improve lending to the real sector. The Monetary Policy Committee of the CBN said in March that provisional data showed that banking system credit to the economy increased by 1.75% to 43.67 trillion naira in February 2021 from 42.92 trillion naira in January 2021, reflecting the ongoing broad-based monetary and fiscal stimulus to various sectors of the economy. On the foreign scene, the price of Bitcoin is said to be approaching $40,000 again after Tesla CEO Elon Musk revealed that having had active discussions with Bitcoin miners regarding the sustainability of the digital coin. Bitcoin traded around $37,961.32 at 5:54 a.m. today, and its price has risen over 4% in the last 24 hours. Data from CoinDesk shows that Ethereum's price has also risen to more than 13% in the last 24 hours to $2,550.62, while Dogecoin has seen its price rise more than 7% to 34% a coin. The coin initially popped 4% to hit 39,824.81 a few hours later before falling back to almost 38,000. Bitcoin mining requires vast amounts of energy. As a result, it has a carbon footprint comparable to that of New Zealand, producing 36.95 megatons of carbon dioxide annually. And that was the news updates at 1 p.m. and Today95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility, wash your hands on a regular with soap on the running water, avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Alternatively, have a fee at all times, alcohol-based and sanitizers. Good afternoon, I am Kala Da Kurubatubo. Andre Gagi is up next.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Education never ends, and we believe it starts even way earlier than most of us think. On Android Gorgie, every Tuesday, 1 to 2 p.m., we unravel these various building blocks and its challenges that make you and I better versions of ourselves. Android Gorgie on Today 95.1 FM. Education never ends, and we believe it starts even way earlier than most of us think. On Android Gorgie, every Tuesday, 1 to 2 p.m., we unravel these various building blocks and its challenges that make you and I better versions of ourselves. Android Gorgie on Today 95.1 FM.
All right, good afternoon to you. 9 minutes gone past the hour of 1. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much for staying tuned to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people, your premium talk radio station. I like to think of myself as the man of the people, and I go by the name Khaled. And as the man of the people, I will be bringing very valid and wonderful conversations your way as we try to see how we can shape in and tailor our society into a better place. For some people, they call it the promised land. For some people, we want to make sure that we have a country that we all are proud of, and we have a country that we can boast of in the Committee of Nations, so to say. Once again, welcome. It's time for Andre Gaji. And for those of you who are avid listeners of Today 95.1 FM, you would know that okay. I was going to say, you would know that for those of you who are avid listeners, that the Andre Gaji is the show that focuses on education and focuses on making sure that we tailor our schools, our educational institutions into citadels of learning, not just what they call it garbage in, garbage out kind of learning, but making sure that the content and the things that we teach our kids, our children, are valid. They are, relevant in modern day society. Welcome. I hear that I have to go through some of the educational headlines in the various newspapers before I go into the topic for the day. And as I can see on the Punch newspaper, there is the headline: CU calls for interface between university and industry. And that is a wonderful call. And for your information, CU is an acronym for Covenant University. And I like the way they put it. I think in our schools, we don't have that interface. We don't have that relationship between industries on universities or higher institutions. And sometimes I wonder what we really go there to do, in the higher institutions, when we don't even know how things are actually done in the real world. So for instance, you're studying engineering, but you never really get to know what and how to use the machine. You just tell you this is the machine, the theoretical part in the universities, but you don't really get to know what it all entails, how it works. You don't get to know that. But that's one of the caption on the Punch newspaper. Another headline that really caught my attention is NECO rescheduling examinations over low registration. And I'm wondering what could be the reason for low registration. NECO could not provide that information, but hey, that is that. There is the shortfall in registration. Is it because parents can no longer foot the tuition fees of the children or the school fees of the children? I'm wondering why parents are not registering their kids. Is it because of insecurity? Because I want to believe the low registration would be coming mainly from the northern area. Is insecurity really that bad now that we can't even go to schools anymore? That is a question the Punch newspaper is asking. Also, there is the headline that we are looking at today. Okay, not this one. As far back as 18th May, review policy mandating NIN for JAMB registration. Senate tells the federal government, and I think, yeah, that does make sense to me. That does make a bit of sense. But that's that for the headlines. That's that for the headlines. Let's go into the nitty gritty for today. Once again, I am Kalada, and I like to think of myself as the man of the people. And you're tuned to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. And currently, we have on the show Andre Gaji. Okay. You know how before the coming of the white man, some of us would say that our religion was, the traditional God. So for the Igbo man, he had the traditional God. And sometimes this traditional God was based on the little communities, not the entire Igbo clan. Sometimes, a community can have its God, which differs from the nearest community as well. And just like it was for the Igbos, it was for the Yorubas, it was for the Ijaws, the Hausas, and all of that. And, they believed in the traditional gods. Okay, maybe not the northern part, because the northern part, I want to think was Islam, ever since Dan Fodio came in and did the jihad stuff. Okay, fine. But then again, the point is, many parts of Nigeria had traditional gods. But then that transitioned into Christianity in many parts when the white man did come and colonized Africa. So in parts of Nigeria, we had the Christianity faith, while the North was allowed to continue their practice, which was Islam. Over the years, the argument has continued. What religion do we really practice as a country, Nigeria? And as that argument is, continued, scholars were able to come up with a term, and they called us, a secular nation. We are not a Christian nation. We are not an Islamic nation. Neither are we a traditional nation, but they called it a secular nation where you're free to believe whatever you want to believe. If you say you want to practice Christianity, you're free to do that. If you say you want to practice Islam, you're free to do that. And if you say you want to be a traditionalist, you want to go back to the old ways, you are free to do that. But you see, when we look at it from a legal perspective, we can dare to argue that your right ends where my right begins, so to say, and so my right ends where your right begins. So I cannot use my religion to threaten your religion or make your religion less important, and vice versa. But you see, these arguments has rubbed off on the educational sector. You see, this is why we talk. This is why we ensure that we look at issues, because whether you like it or not, somehow it slithers into the various sectors, the various facets of our society. And it's in the educational sector. For a while, there has been the talk on whether you can continue to teach CRK or IRS. CRK stands for Christian Religious Knowledge. It used to be Bible Knowledge before, BKS, and now it's CRK. And of course, there is the Islamic Religious Studies. This has been the talk. Because whether you like it or not, sometimes the majority of the schools, most especially primary and secondary schools, have got a mixture of all three of these religions. I was going by Uzwoba Road yesterday, very early in the morning, just immediately after the coffee, and I saw some traditional people who were in the morning, appeasing their gods. They had this very energetic display. So we still have traditionalists, and I want to believe they also have children who they are training up to also be traditionalists. And if that be the case, in our schools, we have a mixture of traditionalists, Christians, and Muslims. In the early times, the church and the government were one and the same. However, as time has gone on, the church and I'm talking about in certain parts in Christian societies, the church and government have been separated, and that's one thing that we have in Nigeria. So for religious activities, there's freedom to do whatever worship you want. We have the churches, we have the mosque, and probably the shrines for those who are into tradition. I'm going somewhere. Now, since we have a mixture of religions in our schools, another argument rose up. How can you be teaching IRS when my child is a Christian? Are you trying to Islamize my children? Also, in some other parts, the question arose, are you trying to Christianize my kids? How can you be teaching CRK in a school where there is a mixture of children with diverse religions? And even in the National Assembly, there was the time, because the National Assembly is also a mixture of people with diverse religions. They argued, how can you want to say a prayer and then you have an imam get up to pray and you have an archbishop get up to pray? Why don't we just make the second stanza our prayer? Oh God of creation, direct and noble. You know the stanza, right? Why don't we just use it? Even in the National Assembly, at the time, there was that debate. I hear, because I called, someone who is into the educational sector, and I called her and I asked her, and I threw the question to her: do you still have CRK as a subject in your school curriculum? She said yes, but not exactly. And I said, what do you mean? And she said it's been combined. They now have CRK and IRS, and they call it religious and national studies. Religious and national studies. It sounds like a course in the university, religious and national studies, yeah? And so you get to have a combination of Islam, CRK, and maybe traditional religions. So maybe they could teach them about Sango. They could teach them about all the gods, all of them. They could teach them a bit of it, all the mythologies and all of that. The question in my head is, given the sensitive nature of religion, most especially in Nigeria, how every little thing we come up with, they want to Islamize Nigeria, and over there they want to Christianize Nigeria. Every little thing the other religion is thinking that if not careful, it would be blown into extinction. How then do we view this religious conundrum in our schools, where as a Muslim, probably I'm forced to learn Christianity, or as a Christian, I am forced to learn Islamic studies? Should we not leave religious matters for religious organizations? That's the question. Should we not let religious organizations treat religious matters? So if I want to learn anything about Islam, I go to the mosque or I visit my imam. If I want to learn anything about Christianity, I visit my pastor or I go to church on Wednesday and on Sunday. Do you agree with me? Moreover, in Nigeria, according to my observation, religion is that one thing that has kept us where we are today, or even worse. Even worse. Correct me if I'm wrong. I stand to be corrected all the time. So we have churches and even, the mosque sometimes setting up religious and religious programs, I beg your pardon. And during hours when men and women are supposed to be productive, working, manufacturing, doing stuff, they are in these religious programs, getting messages of how they will live in houses they did not build. They will drive cars they did not buy. That's the mentality. And when things go bad, we hear leaders come out, not just political leaders, religious leaders, and say, oh, let's pray to God. But in reality, when you look at it from both religions or all the religions, God has given you the power to do things. Go out there into the world and multiply and dominate. So how can you have power to dominate and still look at the heavens and wait for the heavens to open when the heavens is giving everything you need? So yet again, should we leave religious matters for religious organizations? Because I feel like adding religion to the curriculum, it may be, I don't know, might cause conundrums and a bit of agitations in the hearts of parents. And moreover, the schools are citadels of learning, and what we should be learning or equipping our children with are, knowledge, the kind of knowledge that will transform our society. I'm talking about sciences, I'm talking about the arts, I'm talking about modern curriculum. And probably that is the difference between we in Africa and the rest of the world. I mean, look at China. When they wanted to develop, they kept religion aside. They went into seeing how they could steal the knowledge from different countries. They had their students travel to the United States, to Russia, to Germany, and they were just, getting knowledge from all those parts, and they brought it back. And religion wasn't a mix. Don't get me wrong. They have religious entities there at the time, and all they were concerned about was knowledge to transform society. Like I already said, religion has told us that God has given us everything to succeed on earth. So what China did was go get that knowledge that will enable them succeed according to the way religion has explained it. So maybe I'm confusing you, but the bottom line is, shouldn't we allow religious organizations treat religious matters instead of confusing our children by juxtaposing, combining, bringing together different religions? And trust me, I mean, it's for people like me who are open-minded, it's okay. The child is open to different like me, for instance. I have what do you call it now, I have knowledge, bits of knowledge from the different religions. I'm still reading on some new religions. Like I said, I'm open-minded. It doesn't stop me from being a Christian, which is my only religion, as a matter of fact. But I know, for someone who's open-minded, I have the ability to glean one or two knowledge from the different religions. So it helps the child, it helps his thinking faculty. But yet again, it threatens, because of our religious sensitivity, it threatens, some parents will be thinking, oh, what if my child now becomes, the question I'm talking about. I'm going to open the phone lines now. 26 minutes going into the hour of 1. I am Kalada, and this is Andre Gaji. You get a chance to be part of this conversation and tell me what you think about religious studies in our curriculum. Should we scrap it? Just like there is the talk of scrapping the NYSC. Should we scrap it and let it be for religious organizations alone? So if your child wants to learn about Jesus or Muhammad or Sango or Duduwa, anyone, he goes to the church, maybe Sunday school, or visits the imam on a study period or something, and he gleans whatever he has to glean. The numbers are 0817 and 0810 9510951. Remember, the question is religious and national studies. Is that something you're comfortable with? Or should we let it be for the pastors, imams, and the priests? All right, I'm going to take my first call. 95.1 FM. Your name, your location.
Hello, good afternoon. Raphael calling from Choba.
Raphael from Choba, welcome.
Okay. Calabar. There is when I was listening to one program in one radio. You know what the person they invite to the program was saying, and I concur with what the man was saying. He said, the problem of Nigeria is not corruption. The most problem we have is religion, sentiment, and tribalism. That's our big problem. I didn't know what religion come to do in our curriculum. You don't even need such a thing. These are other people culture that are teaching our children. Let them just grab those kind of things, remove it completely. Religion is the problem we are having. Watching Abuja, when you have a central mosque they did, it was due by Abacha. But Abacha is one of the corrupt person we have, president we have in this country. And then Obasanjo come his own and build National Christian Center. Also, he's one of the corrupt leader we have. All these people are Christian. What are we going to teach these children?
When you say corrupt leaders, you know, they've not been what's the word now? Judged by court, so we can't call them corrupt. We can.
They are sending a preacher Abacha to Nigeria. What do you want us to send?
I'm talking about Obasanjo now. But thank you very much, Raf. Thank you very much for your contribution there. I lost that one. Keep your calls coming in. What do you really think about this? Really, should we continue to have religious studies in our curriculum, and more so the way we have it, which is a combination? Oh my! 95.1 FM. Who's on the line? This is who? Sorry?
Pieman.
All right, welcome then.
This is a loving topic you are handling, and I'm interested. I want to make some input.
Hey, the lines are open. You're free to go.
Okay, now religion, as it may seem, is not really the problem.
Okay.
I can tell you, I grew in this country all my life, and we all knew when the water entered the garden. It was when the people in the government that was built, incited by religion, so they now came and bought over the pulpits. I mean, the churches or the mosque or whatever, to protect them from the passion that is coming from religious angle. That made the church that is from pedal. So in our balance, we say church became world, the world became church, and there was a mix-up altogether. Otherwise, religion is the starting point. God started with man in the garden. So what it means is that without God, we are done for.
But God is. I mean, yes, I agree with you. If you say without God, we're nothing. But then God has said, go. I've given you everything, all the power you need. Go into and you know, use the knowledge and create things. Go be a creator. And that is where schools come into play, teaching you how to be creators. So why then go back and do religion?
What it means is that in that school setting, actually, before you have the inspiration that will bring about knowledge and that will transform society, you have to put it pari passu with the revelation of God.
Interesting.
It's very vital. You
Interesting.
cannot run education without illumination.
Now let me take you on that one now. Let's look at America, where a lot of inventions are taking place on a daily. Most of the innovations are gotten from people who are non-religious, who are not believers in any kind of God.
No matter the systematism and the philosophism or whatever, the truth is that most times those guys are misplacing their soul. Actually, if you listen very well and they have a Christian background, you will know that they have an instinct of the knowledge above them. There's something that's beyond them that is getting them, but they cannot actually
you still don't get the point. I agree with you totally on that one yet again. But I am saying that, okay, fine, there is God. We should leave it for religion. Religious organizations take care of that. When we come to school, just like these individuals in America and the rest of the world that are very innovative, when we come to schools, let us teach innovation.
That is the same thing as saying that in our innovation in context, as you are saying now, we now idolize our own humanism and our idealism, our ability, which is, I'm telling you, that is contradictory to the reality of the situation. God light that is shining there. What it should do, it should be that in that school, even if they don't have Christians, let them get their RNS or whatever national study they are saying. Let the Christianity aspect be dominant, and the teacher focus and not allowing the teacher to cross border into assuming you can teach this and teach that. That's the really appreciation.
All right. Thank you very much. But you see, I want to take you on the argument. Let's say you are working in your office space, for instance. You don't really mix religion. Let's be frank. Everybody comes to work. It does what it's supposed to do. If all of you are from different gods, you keep your gods aside, you keep your religion aside, you do what you're paid to do, you go home and then you serve your God. Is that not how it's done in our various places of occupation? So it brings to the question, if that is how it is done in our places of work, why don't we do same for our children? When they come home, they learn about our God. The
For a particular
doing, is that what you said? From Emeka.
yes.
All right, welcome. It's very difficult to hear you, but go ahead. Let's see if we can make do.
Yeah, these religious they are talking about now. Every child is required to at least a primary or primary school. And by reason of our custom and our tradition here in this part of the world, children are to be trained in the knowledge of God. And we believe that they will grow with it. This Christian education has helped us so much to mold our children, to put the fear and responsibility in their lives. How to respect, things to do, and things not to do.
But I have a question for you. Is that not the work of the pastors and the Sunday school teachers?
Yeah, that is only one day in a week. And few minutes. But these children go to school every good day.
But it's not every day that they learn the CRUK now. It's probably at most three times a week. At most.
Most times, children with their teachers, watching over them, seeing how they exhibit what they have been taught. And when they get home, they exhibit them too at home. This has helped our community. I am talking to you as an example.
All right.
Christian education will help me personally when I was in school. We trained how to obey, what to do and what not to do. And then just so recent that we see children where the education, Christian education was completely cut off from school.
No, it's not completely cut off. It's a mixture of all the religions now.
And children were allowed to live the way they like. And most of these things are the results we are seeing today.
Right.
So, God is God. Whatever name people decide to give to him, God is God. And God has principles. And if we deviate from that principle, there is consequence.
All right.
Whether as a child, or as an adult, whether as a community, or the nation. All we require is to turn back to God. God is a merciful God.
All right.
He has no matter how much sin we have committed, to forgive us and to clear from all this mess we are seeing. So I am on opinion that specifically Christian education should be put in our curriculum.
All right then.
And children should be taught and taught well.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, he has a good angle. He's approaching it from moral values and all of that. That's a good angle to look at it from. 95.1 FM, what's your name?
Yeah, good afternoon, Canada.
Chris. Welcome.
Yeah, this is Honorable Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt. You see this Christian knowledge and what they are talking about now concern. Like myself, I learned Christianity in the school, and it helped me a lot what I am today. So at the beginning, I focus only on social studies and the other things. Maybe I don't know, and within that line, that's what keeps us moving. Our Christian family. So they should introduce this. Allow anybody to study what you want to study, but don't intimidate me with their own religion. That's what we are talking about.
For you, you're saying but then how do you? Because some schools have both religions therein. There are schools where you have Christians, Muslims, you even have traditionalists in those schools. So don't you think? You saying, okay, let's have only CRK, for instance, will also be infringing on the right of the other one who has the right to learn Islamic studies. You saying let's learn only CRK and Islamic studies is also going to be infringing on the right of the traditionalist. Look at it from that angle as well.
Okay, if I am going for Islamic school, if I want to enroll my child in Islamic school, I know what he's going there or she's going there to learn. Maybe if you are going to Christian school and you know that this is
Chris, the schools that are here, apart from the ones owned by churches or mosques, are neither Christian or Islam schools. They are public schools, whether owned by government or private. They are schools for public. Anybody can come in.
No, if they are public school, I say right from origin, they know people from here as people that believe in Christianity.
Is it only Christians that live in? Is it only Christians that live in the South?
I know what I'm telling you.
But I know what I'm asking you as well.
It is not now that things are beginning to change. You now see Islamic school, you see Christian school, you see before. Once you are coming to it, you know that it's dominantly Christians. You are going to the north. You know this is the Islamic.
We have all mixed. Migration has happened, and now we are now a mixed society. That is why this question is relevant.
They should leave our doctrine in the way we see. Let them learn their own doctrine. Leave our own doctrine.
All right.
You help us. For example, I get to my office this morning. I pray, but not everybody will do it. So that's their belief. So in some school, you must pray. You must do morning devotion, and when it's not today, so let them tradition there. The Yorubas, the Hausas, the Jaws, the Shekiris, name them.
For people who are matured.
Canada, do you know we are making mistakes?
Oh, no, you tell me.
Yeah, look, whatever you learn in secondary school, you also need them in university.
True.
But in a different dimension, in a more civilized, matured research.
All right.
So all of them are important. Knowing that Juju or whatever language you want to call it exists, African tradition exists, it also helps you in investigation.
Right.
Knowing that Muslims exist, you know how they do their thing. If they are bad or good, you also know. Oh, this man is coming from a Muslim religion. This is how they behave. This man is coming from a Christian religion. This is how he behaves. So you know how to live with people. It also help us in security. Right. We take things for granted. All of them are good. They should come into.
But I like your view. I might not agree with it, but I like you trying to say there's knowledge in every religion. Actually, you're right. I lost that one. 95.1 FM. Your name, your location, your contribution.
Yes. Good afternoon, Canada. I am Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Chris. Welcome.
Yes. You see, some of us, religion is not just what we call ourselves. Rather, we are by the life that we live. You see, some of us that call ourselves Christians are Satan in disguise. I'm telling you,
okay.
You can hear a caller who is a Christian will be celebrating the death of another person because of useless and satanic ideology.
So what has this got to do with the curriculum of our children?
That is what I'm trying to say is that the curriculum, the religion that we learn, and the ones that we profess, they are not the same. So anybody that calls himself a Christian but preaches hate, preaches violence, preaches prejudice, preaches evil, you know, that you are when that person, a person who is satanic and evil in nature. Let me use an example. Hello?
I can hear you.
Yes, like some of those people that say that are members of IPOB.
No. See, now, let me pause you there. You're derailing our conversation because wait. Can you listen? The conversation is on our children and their religious studies, and we are trying to say, is it still necessary? And I was waiting for you to connect it, but now you're taking me to IPOB, which is not even near my conversation.
No, you see, you know why I'm using that as an example. Is because they claim to be Christians. But look at
point of correction. Point of correction. IPOB, they don't claim to be Christians. They say they are Jews. They say they are Jews. They belong to the Judaism religion.
But look at the evil that perpetrated in Southeast.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being a part of the show. Keep your calls coming in 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. We're having a wonderful conversation. Religion and education, is it something that can mix? Is it something that should mix? Is it something that is like water and oil? That is the question on the show this afternoon. Who's on the line?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Mr. Canada. My name is Endurance. Hello from Igboche.
Endurance from Igboche, welcome.
Talking about what
we should not be discriminating religions. What happens to them? What happens to them learning together then?
Yes. If you decide to learn Muslim way, you can go there. Some people learn how to speak different languages. You understand me? So God hear every language. Forget about your tribe and whatever.
All right, then.
God hear the any way you speak, God will hear you.
All right,
the manner and the way you put it. Otherwise, I don't see anything wrong. Apart from this time around that we're having all this serious discrimination, this and that. Nobody count all this. You see our sons, they marry together. Even we have our people that are Reverend Fathers. They are Hausa. They speak Hausa. We mingle together. We laugh with them. So I don't see the problem. It's because of this modern time they have all these problems.
Even in the old times, they used to have those problems. Religion has always been a sensitive issue. But thank you very much for calling in. 95.1 FM.
The man of the people.
Oh yeah. Yes, he caught me on this show. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Now our David Carlo.
Welcome.
Yeah. Talking about religion.
And school curriculum. Don't forget that part.
And school curriculum, yes. It's quite unfortunate in this particular part of Africa where Nigeria, yes, the way we understand religion is far beyond us. It was borrowed by Europeans. They came with it just to get us so cheap. While in Islam, they started their own decades. And Islam, all their curriculum is all about extremists.
No, I disagree with you.
I'm coming.
Yet again.
Did you remember when Arab want to invade the whole of Europe?
There were times when Christians also went on conquering missions. So let's get it right. It's not all about say they were the conquering days, but don't say it's all about conquering. Let's get the facts right. I wouldn't let you spill what is not right on the show.
Okay. Now we come to the Christendom that claim that they are not Jewish or they are Christian. Their mentor, their follow, that's the man they follow. Did they identify him as a Christian or a Jewish? But now he's dead.
So what's your point? Let's get to your point.
The main point I am making there is this. The way we teach our children the curriculum in school, it is not the truth. It is not the truth. That is why you see different kind of belief in our society today. Do you know that in Islam we have the Wahhabi? Did you know that we have what they call the Shiite? Did you know we have what they call the Boko Haram in different forms? And they have a particular ideology on their own.
But in Christianity, we have Protestant, we have Pentecostal. It's the same
you have
thing here.
Jewish.
It's the same thing
All
here.
of these are made of Christians. In the Bible, you can never see Christian. What you see was Gentiles then. Before now, they have been converted to call the Christian. But when you call them Jews, they'll say, no. But who gave birth to you? Did you see why I said
You're changing the conversation. That's not what we're looking at. We're not looking at religion itself. We're looking at it in our curriculum. So I'm not here to talk about whether it's Jewish, Christian, Islam, or none of it. No. Let's talk about it in our curriculum and how it affects our children and what they're learning. 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kalada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
This is Mr. Johnson calling from Pulu.
Johnson from Mpulu, welcome.
Yeah. Whether religion should be scrubbed in our education.
Exactly. That's the question.
Mr. Kalada, religion should not be scrubbed in our educational curriculum.
Tell me why. Why do you feel so?
It should not be. Imagine like my first, like for example, taking CROK, being a Christian, taking CROK for example. The first fundamental Christianity and CROK knowledge I had was in school, was not in the church.
Okay.
Yes. So what come to think of it, even education. Let's go back to history. Even education started as all our political philosophers, Socrates, Aristotle, Plato. They are religious people. Yes, they are.
Not all of them. Not all of them. Some of them. Yeah, not all of them.
Yeah. So I said most of them.
Okay.
Most of them. Actually, this is I'm a political scientist, so I know.
All right.
Yes, they different. They belong to different. Some of them are even Christians, Judaism, but just like that. So education, religion actually give birth to education. So imagine if you delete religion from my education curriculum, then what are we going to be learning?
But removing it doesn't stop you from being a religious man. It just means that when you come to school, you come and focus on innovative knowledge. That's what it means. It doesn't necessarily mean that it stops you from being a religious person.
But Canada, in school, we don't only learn how to read and write. We learn how to behave our morals as well.
Okay, good point.
It's not only reading and writing.
Good point there.
Yes, it's not only reading and writing. To behave our moral, good morals. You see, so that is what you need to know. So if we delete it, then it's going to be catastrophe in our children.
All right then.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much there. 95.1.
Yeah, good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
David is calling from Aba.
David from Aba, all the way from Aba. Welcome, David.
Yes. Let me tell you the truth. We should, every family should teach their children their traditional religion. That is just it. This thing should be taken off.
Did you mean personal religion or traditional religion? Because traditional religion.
Every religion should. Yes. If you go to the tenets of most of these religions, they actually preach peace, how the society will grow. What a human should imbibe and grow with. That is why children should be taught, so that it will be passed from generation to generation.
So it has to be, but it has to be in the house. That's what you're saying.
It has to be in the house.
Okay.
It should not be in public space.
Okay.
Your house, your worship center. Your family house, your worship center. There should be no religion in the constitution. There should be no religion in the because now let me tell you one thing. A woman called earlier and told you that up there in the north that they are still doing Islamic studies, but here they come and do what looks like a combination. You understand? Christians are actually feeling that the teaching of their own religion are being suppressed down here in the south. While there is every liberate of nothing has changed in the study of Islamic religion up there in the north. So for we to move forward, Canada, we have to de-emphasize it has not helped Nigeria. The truth of the matter, even the Hajj, the pilgrimages, the money government spend on all these things, be put to something else.
All right. Thank you very much, David. We've got to go. More conversations coming up after the news update at 2. God willing, if I'm here next week Tuesday, we will ask the question, if something else doesn't come up, we would ask the question, what are we teaching our children in schools? Stay tuned for the news update at 2, and after that, today's hustle will come your way.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update at 2 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kalada Karubatabo. Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has asked the federal government to exclude the state out of its planned rehabilitation of grazing reserves. Governor Otom stated this while reacting to the earlier statement of the Senior Special Assistant on Publicity and Media to the President, Garba Shehu, that the federal government was planning to rehabilitate grazing reserves across the country. Otom, in a statement issued by his chief press secretary, Teva Akase, said that there is absolutely no land in the state that had been gazetted for grazing reserve. The governor said that his state had since embraced ranching as the best global practice. The policy, he said, that Southern Governors Forum and other prominent Nigerians had given their approval. He expressed dismay on why the federal government is still pushing on what he described as a archaic policy, stressing that it is now clear that there is a hidden agenda which only the presidency knows. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdul Rashid Bawa, has described as alarming the rate of procurement fraud in public service in Nigeria. Bawa stated this in his goodwill message at the opening ceremony of the year 2021 First Batch Conversion Training Program to Procurement Cadre for federal parastatals and agencies organized by the Bureau of Public Procurement at Digital Bridge Institute, Oshodi, Lagos. The boss of the anti-graft agency, who was represented by the head Lagos Zonal Office of EFCC, Mohammed Gali, added that many procurement professionals in federal institutions were not aware of the potholes that must be avoided in the discharge of their duties. The message of the EFCC boss, which is contained in a statement by the head of media and publicity of the agency, Wilson Ujaren, urged the participants to take maximum advantage of the training so as to be better procurement officers. The Imo State Police Commanders killed 2 bandits during a gun duel that lasted for hours in the Oaji Egbema axis of the state. The operatives also recovered a service rifle and ammunition from the slain bandits. Spokesperson of the police command in the state, Bala Elkana, while speaking with newsmen in Owerri, said the bandits were suspected to be part of the gang that attacked the Owerri Correctional Center and the state police command headquarters in Owerri on April 5. River State branch of the Nigerian Bar Association has called on the federal and state governments to join hands to resolve the issue of judicial autonomy to enable the court reopen. The chairman of the Port Harcourt branch of NBA, Prince Onyekwere, who made the call during the valedictory court session in honor of the retiring chief judge of River State, said the continuous closure of the court has deprived a lot of people access to justice. Onyekwere commended the retiring chief judge of the state, Justice Adama Iyayi Lamikara, for her service to the state in the judiciary, but insisted that a strike by members of the Judiciary Workers Union Association have cost the lawyers a lot. On the foreign scene, hundreds of thousands of people across the Australian state of Queensland were left without electricity after an explosion at a power station. Energy companies are now scrambling to restore power, while local officials have warned of traffic chaos. According to energy providers, about 250,000 customers have since had their electricity restored, but many are still left without power, with around 375,000 customers initially affected by the outage. The Australia Broadcasting Sweights Corporation reported that the outage hit schools, homes and businesses across a wide range of the state. It also briefly affected the airport and traffic lights in the city of Brisbane, with officials warning drivers to take care on the roads. And of course, that was the news update at 2 p.m. on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget, do take responsibility. Wash your hands on a regular with soap under running water Alternatively, have with you at all times alcohol, base and sanitizers. Avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Good afternoon. I am Kalada Korubatibor. Stay tuned. Conversations continue immediately after the break.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
You're about to listen to
5.1. Get ready. It's the world of broadcasting as Today 95.1 FM brings you entertainment, information, education as they unfold every day.
Today 95.1 FM.
Do you know that I'm necessarily mentioned? Do you think I used to climb some tree alone in this video?
So, you say you've not benefited anything from Nigeria?
What was your favorite Nigerian movie growing up? 1, 2, 3. Isakaba.
Yeah.
You took time. Conspiracy.
Today 95.1 FM. Don't touch that dial. Make sure you are tuned to your numero uno.
Tell me, where's your money now?
Why, man? I will not take out.
There is something missing in the world today. It's the one thing that can make the world okay. And it doesn't cost nothing, no, you don't even have to pay. It's about doing the right thing every day. 'Cause you are the light, you are the sign, you are the only hope, keeping hope alive. Do the right thing, let the world see, let the light shine everywhere. And when it seems like no one's watching, do the right thing anyway. Just do the right thing all the time, and you'll be sure to have the whole world sing, yeah.
If the right thing is the order of the day, then the world will be a better place to stay. A corrupted mind is your worst enemy. So I suggest you do the right thing starting today. 'Cause you are the light, you are the sign, you are the only hope, keeping hope alive.
Do the right thing,
let the world see,
let the light shine everywhere.
Yeah.
When it seems like
No one's watching.
do the right thing
Anyway, just do the right thing all the time, and you'll be sure to have the whole world singing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
Listen, you could be a pepper seller or a movie star. Doesn't really matter who you are. Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
You can be a politician or a policeman. You gotta take the stand and do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh,
Do the right thing,
let the world see.
let the light shine everywhere.
And when it feels like
Watching the right thing
oh, do the right thing, do it all the time.
you'll be sure to have the whole world singing.
Do the right thing. Do
Today's Hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry out your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
you
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
All right, that was the song. The song that played earlier was "Do the Right Thing" by Kobam Sasuko, featuring Bez, and it's very apt way, or a very apt way to start the show. Asking you to do the right thing as you go about your daily activities, as you go about your business right about now. Probably you're having lunch, I do not know. But whatever it is, you're in the marketplace, you're selling tomatoes, you're selling potatoes, whatever it is you're doing, do the right thing. As I will try and do the right thing with my microphone in the studio. I'm going to try my best. And for those of you just joining us, we just rounded up the Andre Gaji show, and we were talking about religion and the education curriculum, and we were looking at whether the religion should continue to be in our curriculum. What are we teaching our kids, basically? But now we want to move the conversations a little bit further. I should say it's good to be back on Today's Hustle, even if it's just for probably today. 12 minutes gone past the hour of 2. Conversation I have in my mind, a very tricky one. I wanted us to talk with Reason on air, and that's the reason why I'm on the afternoon show, because I really wanted to talk to him or with him and really wanted to get in his head as to what really did happen. But he called and he cancelled, and he said he would not be able to be a part of the show. And it's a sad one, because I really, really wanted to get to the root, to the bottom of the problem between him and the River State government and all the allegations flying around. But in the absence of that conversation, I decided to go through the various newspapers, very hurriedly, and then I saw this story on the Punch. Times you have to go by the Obirikwere Bridge. The guy to change the money for him. She added, the other members came and dragged him, and in the process, one of them brought out a dagger and stabbed him in his 2 hands and body. One of them, who was on a motorcycle, disembarked and shot my brother in the back. They took his body to their office and called me on the phone. Already, my mom had gone to the police station because she didn't know the Ospark office. When she came back, I was already at home, so I went to the police station. Kelechi said while at the station, a female cop asked her if the station was a hospital. She stated, I finally traced the Ospark office, but I couldn't go in because the place was not looking safe. So I called my mom to come. I thought that when they see her, they would allow us to see Chinemerem, but they chased us away. All of a sudden, the Ospark guys started coming out from the office one after another and started chasing us that we should leave the street. They started threatening us with guns. While we were there, an ambulance came to the office. My mom, my brother's girlfriend, and I refused to go. One of them came and shot on the ground. I dragged my mom and we ran. Some people who saw what happened came to hold my mom. We were there when the ambulance took the body out. Up till now, we have not seen his corpse. Asked what they were told at the police station in Oyibo, she said they didn't even tell us anything reasonable. They only told us to come back the following day. We are asking for justice. I want to see my brother's corpse and let them identify the man who shot him and make him to face the law. We want help from the government and the public. When contacted, the spokesman for the State Police Command, Nnamdi Ebonyi, said he had yet to get the report of the incident, but promised, and Punch newspaper quotes him saying, I will find out from the divisional police officer and get back to you. Now, when I saw this report, it was like some 15 minutes to when I was to come on air. I hurriedly sent a text message to one of our correspondents and asked if they can get me any head of vigilante, any of the OSPACs, any of the branches, so I could communicate with him and, get an insight as to, what the vigilantes' roles and responsibilities are. And that's what we want to talk on the show this afternoon. While I'm waiting for the reply, just give me a minute so I can, re-text him to see if I can get a reply. Okay, so while I'm waiting for a reply, you and I will have this conversation. Hopefully, in the course of the show, we would get to interview any of the OSPACs. There's so many OSPACs these days. Let's go back in time. For those of you who are avid listeners of Today FM, who probably did follow today's hustle when I was on the show, you would remember that when OSPAC was a thing, when it first came into town and there was the question of whether OSPAC should be allowed or not allowed. And then the River State government had come out one time to say, OSPAC should go back to Onelga and it does not have the jurisdiction to police all the local government. We had the talk, we had the conversation. And I came up on air and I said, are we sure that we want to leave our security in the hands of vigilantes? And most recently, when we were talking about the hoodlums, the unknown gunmen, or as being put on Twitter, the ungun-known men. As we have seen recently, they've been going on a rampage, doing this, doing that, and people have been clapping. Hey, these political elites, yeah, you serve them right. Yes, police, they have been very wicked. You serve them right. Kill them, kill them. While they're doing all that, I remember saying that now you're shouting, kill them, kill them. It will get to a point where there will be nobody else to kill and they will turn on you because power intoxicates. So let's go back to the conversation. Vigilantes, they were doing a noble job. They secured our local government because, mind you, if you were in this state in the year 2018, 2019, or even as far back as 2017, the insecurity was just something else. If it was a smell, it will be compared to a sockaway pit mixed with, some people might be eating, so I'm not going to get it all messy for you. But the point is, it was that bad. We had very, very bad situations where people's head were chopped off. I mean, I once upon a time somewhere in Alakaya, or would I call it Choba Extension, had gone to see, 3 bodies of young people who were shot, and one of them was even crying. It was a very, very, very teary situation for me at the time. The insecurity was bad, and OSPAC came into the mix. OSPAC was able to identify the criminal elements, chase them out of town. To chase them out of town like the good bad cop. And then the question came: should OSPAC be allowed to carry arms? Or I'm not just talking when I use OSPAC. Please bear with me. It's the name that, just like when we talk about beverages, we call Bonvita, right, or Milo. It's just the name for vigilantes. I'm just trying to make you understand. It's just not like I'm talking down OSPAC or talking up OSPAC. No, none of it. But then again, vigilantes, there was the argument, should they carry guns? There was even the neighborhood safety watch at the time. Should they carry guns? Should they not carry guns? How are they supposed to fight the bandits who are carrying guns and all of that conversation? And then we got to the point when the question was, should we ban OSPAC? They're beginning to act like the police. They're beginning to take laws into their hands. We've had the situations where they're arresting people and brutalizing people and threatening people. And then the question did rise. I think I was one of the people who asked those questions, or that question. Should OSPAC continue, to wield such power? I questioned it. What are the roles and responsibilities of OSPAC if they should wield such powers, And we're back to that juncture. We're back at that conversation table and looking at this story, looking at this report of Chinemerem in Oyibo. Looking at this report, I'm left to wonder. I'm thinking, what are the roles? OSPAC is supposed to complement. This is my layman knowledge of what vigilantes should be doing. They are supposed to be complementing the police, and complementing for me, as being defined by several security experts, should be they collect knowledge and they hand over to the police, and the police would act on the knowledge or the intelligence that they have gathered. Since these boys are from the community and they know the community in and out, it's only advisable that they go about gathering intelligence. But we've seen, vigilantes in recent times have offices where they arrest people. They now preside over civil matters. They now, go and settle disputes between people who are owing money and not owing money. And in this case, it's one of those situations. There is the issue of counterfeit. Now, I would not go with Kelechi's narrative alone, because I wasn't there, and I cannot say Kelechi is saying the truth for a fact, and I cannot say he's saying a lie as well. So I'm just going to leave it at the base. There was a counterfeit money in the mix, whether it was from Kelechi's brother or the POS operator, I do not know. But who's supposed to judge that matter? The police. The police. Who is supposed to judge that matter? The police. And the police judgment is just even very secondary, because the primary judge should be the courts. And in recent times, like the one in Ruma Olu, I hear the vigilante will apprehend the individual and hand the individual over to the police, because yes, as citizens, we have the authority to make arrests. But that should have just been the case. Maybe arrest both people. And if they are resisting arrest, a group of people would have stood with these individuals and then called the police to come forth and take care of the situation. But being typical youths, and I wasn't there, but going by how I've seen task force personnel operate, going by how I've even seen the police themselves, going by how I've seen them operate, I can imagine that one disagreement will have led to another. You they try me, you know who I be, and then the dagger comes out, and then one person is stabbed. Maybe who knows? I'm not there. I wasn't there. Maybe the Chinemere would have said, who you be, who you be, and then the back and the forth, and then one person brings out an instrument, which goes back to the earlier conversation. Should they be carrying arms in any? Even the police, we've asked that question. Should the police standing on the road be carrying arms if they must do stop and search? And if they should carry arms, what kind of arms should they carry? That's even for the police. We've had that conversation before. Talk more of people, individuals, civilians, the military will call them, I won't use the military word, but civilians who go about, yes, volunteering to secure, I give it to them, but should they even carry arms if the police is even argued if they should? So the point is, what really? Because I'm confused. I don't know if you are. A number has been sent. I called the person, but I'd like to take your views. I'd like to discuss with you, my people. You listening right now. I like to discuss with you. You probably must have enjoyed or endured. It's either way. The activities of vigilantes in our society or in your community. If you drive by Port Harcourt and other major towns and communities, you'd realize that a lot of places, a lot of streets do now have gates. And all of these were organized and done by vigilantes in these regions. So yeah, they probably must have helped in the security in our state. I can't take that away from them. But are they beginning to take laws into their hands? Because you see, they were made for a purpose. And it looks as if that purpose has dwindled. When was the last time you heard of a major, I'm not saying they are not there, but when was the last time you heard of a major cold clash, for instance? Or when was the last time you heard of gunshots in Choba or Emoa? Or these things happen, but not as rampant as before. So the question yet again, who knows what the roles and responsibilities of vigilantes, such as OSPAC and the likes are? What are the roles and responsibilities? Also, back to that conversation, Isn't it illegal to carry a dagger? Is dagger not a weapon? If it is, should, horseback or vigilantes be arrested for carrying these weapons? And if you say they shouldn't carry weapons, it comes back to another conversation that we've had on several occasions. How then do these volunteers, these vigilantes, secure themselves, defend themselves when confronted by bandits, hoodlums, and mayhem perpetrators? 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. I'll go for a quick break. When I come back, I'll take your calls.
She no like it, got on naughty, but she go chop if you give her cucumber. Waka from Transamadi.
No day waka from Transamadi again. No, you fit fly from Port Harcourt, go any part of the world with the gadget you fit fly travel packages. Then where we get from Kenya to Dubai. This now in partnership with the Miss Port Harcourt City Beauty Pageant. As we join body with all the fine queens them, go party for inside Kenya and Dubai from the 12th to go reach the 18th of May. We just shaking money of 670,000. You fit get your return flight ticket, hotel accommodation, airport transfer, Kenya and Dubai visa. Menu will be sent and feed yourself, plus including a correct VIP ticket to Miss Port Harcourt City Show live inside the city of Port Harcourt, plus including a free visa application to America. Or you call our number to know more information. The number is 090-185-851-77. The number again is 090-185-851-77. Our office now for 49 Iwofe Road, opposite First Bank off Ada George by Pepperoni, here for inside Pitakwa. You fit fly. Niger number 1 for travel matter and Matthias.
Don't play me your tape for artillery.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
All right, welcome back. I tried to call while I was in that short break. I tried to call one of the vigilante leaders in the state. I'm still waiting to get a response. I think he was on another call. So while he's at that, let's take your call. 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. What do you think are the roles and responsibilities of vigilantes? How are you reacting to the story coming out from Oyibo local government area? Yet again, should they carry arms? If not, how do they defend themselves when in a confrontation? 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. What's your name?
My name is Professor Ekiti. I'm calling from United States of Ireland.
All right, Professor Ekiti, welcome.
My brother, this question you asked this afternoon, because even today, no, these people, they are not even security or something. They are just a task force. They write the NURTW for their clothes. You imagine these people, they are carrying dagger. Because they one old man that all of us just come and say, what did this man did to you that wants to roll out, but we didn't allow them to carry that the vehicle for that place. So to me, because they said that a good leader must show a good example. Because in my area, this is somebody that is the OSPAC Oga, I think is teaching them a lot of something. Because I was there one day that they arrest somebody. Immediately the man that said that they should hide the person, go to the police station for interrogation. It didn't take a lot on their hand. And you cannot say that because they are security that they should not use arms. It is not too good because they cannot defend themselves. Because them that they want to go and face a bad person or a criminal. So they need to carry arms to secure themselves. What I'm saying is that many of them they are just taking loss on their hand. You see somebody that we said that somebody is owing me amount of money. He will go and call us back. That is not their work. Right. In my area, they are not doing all those kind of things.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you speak up, please? What's your name?
I'm Esther. Hello, good day.
You're Esther, did you say?
Yes, Esther. Good day.
Yeah, good afternoon, Esther. Welcome on the show, Esther.
You asked a question whether of security.
I asked the question. I said, what are the roles and responsibilities